Good afternoon. I'm Audrey Perry Williams from the Hampton Roads branch of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. And we welcome you to our video taping program that we will highlight some outstanding artists, African American artists. As of now, I'm going to turn this program over to Miss Emma Flood, and she will provide more information for you.
Good afternoon and welcome to our presentation, African Americans and the Arts. Hidden Figures. You may not know me now, but trust me, you will. Our first guest is William J. Rogers, who has self-published 2 books, Daddy Said, Framing the Mindset of the Next Generation, which was inspired by his observation that so many young men lack access to positive male role models. He served as a deacon and servant leader at a local Baptist church, a husband, a father of 3 beautiful young ladies, grandfather, relative, and friend to many in the Hampton Roads community. ASALH was founded in September 1915, thinking about your ancestors during the first of the Americans to ensure your success in the 20th century. Could you list 3 things that you think they may have done as African Americans to ensure your success?
Being that my during that time period, that would be my grandparents. And both my maternal and paternal grandparents, they were residents in the state of North Carolina, as with so many African Americans from this area. And what I know of them and heard from my mom back in the day, and my dad has shared with me, was they were farmers. They dedicated their life to the family and to ensuring that the family was taken care of. And then they also, because I was amazed back then during that time, you had big families, and that was, and I heard that was part of the strategy to be able to take care of the land and property, because everybody had a job to do out there on the farm. So you had to have all the children and kids. And from that was an opportunity to extend the families and the relatives, and to be able to go to different locations. And what they did, they relocated, those offsprings relocated to other areas, coming to Virginia, New Jersey, Michigan, and that was growth in showing that the families were committed to being able to provide exposure to other experiences within life. So the 3 things, like I say, was being dedicated to the farming trades, growing the family, and then relocating to provide new experiences to the families.
Thank you. And what are some words of encouragement you would give to people as they navigate their journey in the arts?
This is one that I really am attuned to, and I often say this to young people or anyone that's desiring to be able to manifest their talent, their creativity, and that is to pay attention to themselves. We have thoughts in our minds and in our brains, and a lot of times those thoughts originate from God, and that's how God communicates with you. So pay attention to those words and those phrases and statements that come to your mind that are of a positive nature, positive influence. Learn as much as you can about yourself. Don't sell yourself short. If there's something you want to learn about, there's something you want to do, go ahead and take the steps to find out as much as you can about it. And so you will have the experience of understanding that. Also seek feedback from those who you respect and those who have your best interests in mind, especially those who are older and got more experiences in life, and they can share their experiences with you. Seek out that type of guidance. Make a plan for yourself, and when you make a plan, you have to act on it. So don't just put it in writing and leave it alone. Put it in writing and then set some dates to accomplish things. Another thing is don't be afraid to make mistakes because you can learn from those mistakes and just go ahead and incorporate the best you can in interpreting and understanding that. And then lastly, I would say, particularly in the matter of art, is practice, practice, practice. Just continue to practice until you get it right.
More forgiving, but press play healing as I push words heard far from my repertoire central. Cleansing my mental, tapped into my goddess potential. Like really, I'm gold. The tickets they sold, they already told me. How y'all like that?
Sequoia Whiteside, an employment specialist from the state of Georgia. Sequoia is a spoken word artist and poet from Stone Mountain, widely known for her dynamic performances at the most popular poetry venues throughout Atlanta. With a deep-rooted passion for self-expression, Sequoia began writing poetry as a child, using it as a tool to navigate life's challenges and constant complexities. Sequoia, could you please tell us briefly something about yourself that people may not know?
I notice that people often are unaware that much of my writing is rooted in the complexities and the contradictions of being a woman in this time, navigating both strength and vulnerability. So often I would draw from quiet battles, the unspoken struggles, and the emotional resilience that's required of being a woman. So for me, poetry is like a way to explore the depth of those experiences. I like to try to find the beauty in what we tend to overlook and sometimes even avoid.
Thank you. What was the greatest influence in choosing your craft?
Well, I would press, the craft kind of chose me. Poetry kind of descended upon me. If I give any influence to anyone around, or I guess not around, you know, there are a lot of great poets that came before me. I specifically would attribute a lot of my writing to Gwendolyn Brooks. We know and love Pulitzer Prize winner Gwendolyn Brooks. Specifically, one poem has touched me. There's so many poems that I could probably go back to, but The Mother by Gwendolyn Brooks, I use that poem. I throw that one out there because it's deeply personal and controversial, and I think that a lot of mine are as well. She definitely did a wonderful job with exploring womanhood and women's difficult decisions that they have to make specifically in that one, and just societal pressures. So I would definitely say she would be a top contributor and, who influenced me.
ASALH was founded in September 1915. Thinking about your ancestors during this time period, the early 20th century, list at least three things that you think helped prepare you for success today.
Well, I will say one of my grandmothers moved us from the South, or our family from the South to New Jersey at one point. And even though I am back in the South, I know from stories told that she actually moved us to save our family at that time. So that's definitely one thing that kept us successful. I had some strong grandmothers, between one moving us from the South to get away from, the white man trying to kill people. And then I had another grandmother that was an entrepreneur when they got up to Jersey. So that definitely did kind of set the foundation for our mindset in my family. My aunt, Nona Hendricks, so many wonderful women have done so many things in our family. One of the more notable ones would be my aunt, Nona Hendricks. She definitely took all of that success-driven mindset, all that entrepreneurial mindset to the next level. nationwide known. She's internationally known. So that definitely set the bar really high for all of us.
Antonio Anthony, who is a resident of Chesapeake, Virginia. Antonio attended Norfolk State University, where he obtained his bachelor's degree in computer information technology in 2017. He continued his academic studies and earned his master's degree in cybersecurity in 2023. He is a proud member of Phi Mu Alpha Saphonia Fraternity of America and Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. What was the greatest influence in choosing your specific craft?
I started this in church. I grew up in church all my life. I've been in church, and one day I seen these group of people just dancing. They had the white face paint on their faces, and I was very interested in that. So I remember before becoming a mimer, I used to always go home and put white powder on my face and just mime two songs until one day I was able to express to the mime team, say, hey, I'm very interested in doing this. I have been miming since the age of 11. As of today, I'm 31, so over 20 years. I had the pleasure of miming at different churches and at different events. So I would definitely say that my church and also the mime leader at the time was a great influence on my decision on why I chose the gift.
Excellent.
Yes,
what
ma'am.
are some words of encouragement you would give to people as they navigate their journey in their craft?
So some words that I would give someone who is navigating through the arts, I live by these two principles, and these two principles is to have the passion. If you have the passion, then you have the love for it. Because when we look at the arts, when I look at arts, this is how I look at it. I look at it as having a passion for it, and also you want to just be you. You want to be confident and be you. I feel like if you have those three things, then you can go very far.
Passion is the key.
Yes,
you
passion.
have to love what you do and willing to share your skills
Yes,
with
ma'am.
our community. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, ma'am.
Audrey?
Antonio, I would like to ask you, I've seen you when you're performing, and I noticed you with your face and all like that. And I would wonder if you would share just how you feeling when you were doing that.
When I do mine, I look at it as me ministering. And every time I go on, or every time it's time for me to minister, I always pray, say, Lord, listen, remove me out the way, and you just insert yourself. So when I am in front of the congregation or in front of an audience, it's not me up there. It's me physically, but spiritually, it's the Holy Ghost, it's the Holy Spirit that's moving through me. So I'll be able to get that message out to someone who needs that. So I know one of my favorite songs that I like to minister to is Let Your Power Fall. And those words are very powerful, and the moves to the song is very powerful too, as well. So when I am up there, I just put my all into it. I just forget about everything. I just forget about the cares. I just forget about the stress and everything else. I just forget about, say, Lord, just have your way while I'm up there. And that's how I am able to come up with the faces, the facial expressions, the exaggerated moves, the everything that comes with it.
What a beautiful testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
Let God have his way.
Yes, ma'am. Listen, let God have his way.
Yeah.
we have chosen to talk about African Americans and the arts, hidden figures. You may not know me now, but one day you will. This afternoon, we have the honor of interviewing our youngest person. Her name is Skylar Rain Williams. Skylar is the daughter of Johnny and Whitney Williams. She's also my youngest granddaughter, and I'm very proud of her. She's 10 years old and currently in the fourth grade in the suburbs of New Jersey. She enjoys creating art in all forms of the arts, including sketching, painting, poetry, short stories, and composing songs. In 2024, Skylar Rain won a poetry writing contest in her school for the best poem, If I Became a Bad Girl. Her favorite sport is gymnastics, and she is a dedicated competitive gymnast, training up to 24 hours per week. Skylar Rain enjoys attending church on Sundays and is an active member of the youth group at her local church. Skylar has been described by her peers and those in authority as compassionate, sincere, and hardworking. Skylar understands that success is measured solely by her own standard, and she is often hardest on herself when undertaking any new task. It is Skylar's life goal to one day qualify for the Olympic Games and follow in the footsteps of her athletic hero, Miss Simone Biles. Hopefully, she just might decide to write a few poems and short stories along the way. Good afternoon, Skylar. How are you doing today?
Good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I understand that you love to write poems and short stories. Do you have a favorite author? Someone that you enjoyed reading?
Raina Telegrammar.
Okay, why do you like that author?
Because she uses different expression and words in the stories.
Oh, that's interesting. I understand your poem, If I Became a Bad Girl, won first place at your school in 2024. Can you recite that poem for us?
Mm-hmm. If I became a bad girl, I'd change all my clothes. And if someone was talking to me, I might even doze. If I became a bad girl, I'd have bad table manners. I'd even break into an office and break all their scanners. If I became a bad girl, I'd even rob a bank. I'd also try to bully a kid named Hank. If I was a bad girl, I'd tackle kids left and right. I'd even scare little children through every working sight. If I was a bad girl, I'd ride a motorcycle with ease. But now I'm still a nice girl, and I always say please.
Well, Skylar, how did you feel after winning the contest at your school? How did it make you feel?
Happy.
Feel happy? Do you enjoy writing poetry? Is that the first poem you've ever written?
Yeah.
Okay. When you write your poems and short stories, how do you decide what to write about?
I think about it really hard.
Think about it very hard?
Yeah.
Do you ever have somebody in mind that you're thinking about when you write those stories?
No.
No, you don't have anybody in mind. Okay. Who or what inspires you most to write your stories and your poem? Did someone inspires you to write them? Or you just decide you're going to write them on your own?
I just decided to write them on my
You'll
own.
just decide to write on your own. What are some of the other things you enjoy doing other than gymnastics? What are some of the other things you like to do?
I like play outside and to draw.
You like to draw? Mm-hmm. What about your dad told me that the shirt that you have on, you made that.
Yeah.
And you like that? You like doing stuff like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did it take you a long time to do that?
No, it
It
only
didn't take
took
you long?
5 minutes.
So you like to draw?
Yeah.
You like to write poems? You like to read? You like to write short stories?
I like to make songs too.
You like to write songs too? What is the name of a song that you have written?
Yesterday I wrote one called Monsters.
The Monsters. Oh, okay. So you decide to do a song on monsters, okay? Now, if I were to ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be an Olympic gymnast.
You want to be an Olympic gymnast? Oh, okay. So that is your dream. I'm excited that you enjoy doing your poetry. You do enjoy writing stories and you write in songs. And maybe one day we may see you on the at the Olympics, right? And you might decide to write a poem sometime during the day.